Hi guys, it's Jamie here, and we're going to do some quick page decorating for junk journals using old book pages because that's the theme of the next junk journal. I have a variety of things surrounding me, so I have very little space to work in because I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. I've had a couple of ideas, but until we get going, we'll just see what happens. So the next journal is going to be A5 size. So this is coffee stained paper that is A4 just folded over, and that makes it nice and easy for when we add this to a signature for the journal. You don't have to decorate every page, obviously, because people want journaling space, but you want to add bits and pieces, and it doesn't always have to be a pocket or a secret flap or anything like that. I'm going to start with obviously adding the book page. That would help, wouldn't it? If you want it to look older, it's straightforward enough. We can just rub some ink over it. I am tearing it away because I just think the torn look looks better. First things first, just glue this down. I'm just using a cheap PVA white glue because it's paper to paper, so that's nice and easy. And I'm not really worried where this goes on the page because, like I said, I don't really know what we're going to be doing yet. I'm probably going to Mod Podge over everything when this is done. Although I am catching some edges here, it's not essential. Something I will quickly show you is an idea I got from, I think it was the Paper Outpost, about cutting up an old soda bottle because it's got a natural standing ability, and keeping your glues upside down in your soda bottle. Awesome tip. I have to recommend that. Let's start with trying to just age this a little bit. Now, all of my ink pads are quite dark, or my browny sort of ones. If you watch any of my shopping haul videos, you will realise I'm a bit of a shopaholic. I don't have the budget to be one, I just am one. So I do have and do purchase lots of things, and I have just purchased these, which are these brushes that I keep seeing people use for staining. Whoops, that's too dark, never mind. Okay, tip for if you're doing this: knock some ink off before you put it on. We will cover it with something where I think it's too dark. Next thing I'm going to do is, I do love using paper napkins. I genuinely love using them. Ever since I saw someone do them, I can't remember who, I have used them so much. So what you want to do with your paper napkin, and this is not always that easy, some people just rip them and don't worry about the underneath. I think the underneath can be used as tissue paper for something else. So I don't want to just tear at it. I do actually want to try and separate them whole. When you first try to get hold of the end, it's a bit of a to-do. Once you've done it, whoa, I'll just put that through all that purple. Oh well, that'll make for an interesting napkin in the future. And this has now got wet, as has my desk. I told you my desk was far too cramped up. Right, let's try and protect myself a bit from that. I've only got that there in case I want it. It's not even a definite. I want bits of this on here, but I think the way to do it will be to Mod Podge the whole thing. I know some people don't like Mod Podge because they think it leaves everything sticky. If you think that, just get a acrylic finishing varnish like painters use, and when it's fully dried out, just varnish over it, and any residue stickiness that you think is on your work will be taken off it. You can get a matte or a gloss version, so if you think Mod Podge leaves your pages a bit too shiny, and it does leave a bit of a shine, then try using the matte and see if that takes a bit of that off. And this was another tip on another channel, I can't remember which one, that these silicone brushes are awesome because any gluey type substance can be peeled off them if you don't wash them immediately, and it doesn't wreck the hair bristles like a normal brush has, and I have wrecked so many paintbrushes already. We don't want all of it on here, so getting some water on a brush, just going to go round the bit that we want on here, and then hopefully, even with the glue there, which is making things a little bit awkward, we can tear it where we want it to be. I'm sorry if you can't see this very well, but this, like I say, I'm lacking space and it's not the easiest working environment this evening. Very gently smooth in your napkin. It will tear, I've just torn it a bit there. But for me that doesn't matter because I'm looking to make an old look. So tearing it, having bits show through is all part of the process. I'm going to get another different napkin now and separate that out and add that to the page. Let's go with trying to get that tree on. I'm going to stick the bird from that. I think that's already dried a bit. And he's now going over some of that very, very dark brown. You can see how the print is showing through underneath. So we have used a book page as the base. Who knows which way round this is meant to go. Let's just stick something down and go with what sticks. A bit more of this down. This all dries up transparent, so don't worry if it looks white at the moment, it won't. Now, I think I've successfully covered up that very dark brown. We still have a bit of book page there. That will be knocked back as well, but you will see it underneath all of this lot eventually. Just getting this to cover all this surface. Any wrinkles in the napkins is very, very welcome for the look that we're going for. And now we're going to let that dry off. This is now dried, so the next stage is to take the white gesso, and unfortunately I've ruined most of my brushes. We're just going to brush over some of this design in the white gesso. You leave it to dry a little. The next stage I'm going to try is adding some script stamp over this. I have my Memento Permanent Espresso Truffle, and we're now going to just stamp it all over. So now we have lots of script on top of book page, on top of napkin, on top of gesso, and I'm beginning to like the effect. This is just a background. And I feel the next thing to do, because this is basically done, give them a journaling spot. I'm going to use the same script again and print on here. Then I'm just going to take my ink pad, darken up the edges, and we're going to attach that to this journaling piece. Either the same paper, graph paper. The graph paper perhaps is more interesting. I feel like this is a little plain. I think I've got an idea. Add it to this and it will become see-through. And then just gesso over or Mod Podge this final piece. I'm possibly going to fiddle a bit too much now, but I do love anything that looks like a postage stamp, a franking machine stamp. And so I've got this one that I got in a sale, and I'm going to put it there. It's weird, but to me that's a finishing touch. Although we haven't quite finished because this all needs to be trimmed up. The edges can also be inked. I'm leaving them a bit rough deliberately. That is one book page decorated. The interesting thing is this feels quite like leather. like a leather type material. I really love the feel of this. And I think that looks pretty cool too, actually. Maybe this could have done with, maybe the gesso should have had like a little tint of cream to it, which is something maybe to work on next time. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, do like, subscribe, comment. This is part of a series to do with using old book pages to make a journal and to decorate a journal. So I'll see you next time. Bye.